How we doing, y'all? Good, not too bad.
Hey, Bray. Kurt Signani talked about you kind of dealing with some off-season stuff and being very careful and limiting you. What have you been kind of dealing with, and was it something you were fighting through last season at all, and then kind of just had to wait to get it taken care of, or did it pop up after getting your off-season?
Yeah,
exam?
so happened early on in fall camp, but had some loose bodies in my ankle, and then, I didn't want to do anything with it during the season because I'd missed too much time, so waited till the end of the year.
Was it hard to play on then throughout the year, or just you had to manage? Like, was it tough?
I don't make excuses for myself, but just thing that happened.
Are we allowed to ask about? I mean, you played the one center snap that Pat didn't last year. Like, are we allowed to ask if you're working over there, like how things are going, or at least just like have you worked there before, and what's your comfort level with it, basically?
Yeah, I really enjoy the position. I've worked there since freshman year with Coach Hiller, and then Coach Bostad and Coach Carey. So I've been working there a lot, but taking some reps there, taking some reps otherwhere. But that's probably a question for Coach Signetti.
Just like one follow-up, you have like a really experienced core in the interior line. You, Drew, Joe, like just how sort of flexible do you think the three of you can be because of all the football that you've played individually?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think definitely a super flexible. I mean, we're all open to trying new positions and trying new things. And then, one thing about Drew and Joe that, I can't speak enough on is, how willing they are to put the team first. So, they'll, as long as we're in a good position to win football games, all three of us will do whatever it takes.
Yeah, just on that, the injury you were dealing with last year, just I get in a way that's not asking you to kind of make an excuse or use that as a crutch for anything that happened last year. Just what was it like for you to play through that? Was that something that was just totally out of mind, out of sight for you throughout the year, or was that something that every other snap it was kind of I'm kind of dealing with that right now?
Well, I will say one thing that definitely helps is adrenaline. You don't feel that much when you're in the middle of war going against another team with really good players on the other end of it. But I wouldn't say that it limited me in any way. It's a part of the game. It's part of football. You're gonna hurt. You're gonna get banged up. But hey, it's next play mentality, like Coach Sig preaches. So.
Yeah, when everybody gets healthy and ready to roll here, what's the potential of this offensive line? Last year's was an extremely good offensive line. What's the potential for this year's group?
Sky's the limit, truly. We got a ton of experience, and we got some young players, and we got some players ready to fit into a new role. We have a great group of guys, all great families, great head on their shoulders. We got a smart group. And we're starting to, finally build all that chemistry together. It's taken a little bit, but, that just happens with time. But super excited to see this group get after it. You got leaders, you got silent workers, you got this, that, positive, confident individuals. So there's nothing this group can't do.
Bray, what lessons did you take from Pat and then Mike Kadick that you could use moving forward, especially at that center position?
That's a good question because both great centers, both great Indiana Hoosiers, but different characters. I would say, Coogan was so methodical in the way that he took on each and every week leading up to a game day. The amount of prep that he took. I roomed with him in the hotel before games, and he was so focused on notes and the little things that you might have done the rep 10,000 times in fall camp, but you're still going to write down that minor detail that you need to work on. And I would say the film aspect, creating routine each and every week to learn your opponent better and better, so you're as prepared as you can possibly be for that player.
We've heard a lot about Coach Bostad and how serious he is, obviously in practice and stuff. But what is he behind the scenes? Are there any moments of levity or to get you guys going a little bit?
Yeah, he's a coach first, so he's obviously going to be hard on us. that's what you want as a player, you know, and even no matter what you do in life, you want someone there to push you to be your best. And that's what Coach Bostad does. And, you know, here and there, he'll see you in the hall and say, you know, give you a slap on the gut or something, and, you know, give you a little smile, a little nod, say a little joke. And, I mean, that's all you can ask for.
I know you guys have a lot of returners for this year, but one of the big faces that came in was Joe Brunner. How has your relationship been with him, and how has he kind of been meshing in with the whole line group?
Yeah, I mean, he's a great guy, you know, competitor. You know, he's always going to come in and work, you know, and, like, some people, you know, come in timid, you know, you're transferring to a new place. I mean, you know, I've been here my whole life, so I don't really know that aspect, but, you know, you try and just, you know, come in with open arms, you know, like, and try and show, you know, what the standard is here and, like, the day-to-day life and, you know, just the simple Bloomington food spots, you know. But he's meshed really well, you know, really cool guy, really, like, you know, talking, all that, and, I mean, just a great person to be around, and that just makes it so much easier.
Pat last year was kind of the voice that stood out above the rest as far as leadership goes. Who this year has kind of started to early take over those reins?
You know, I think we got a good bulk of that, especially on the O-line right now. You know, Joe's a great leader. You know, Drew's a great leader, and then we got, you know, Carter's out. But I think, like, collectively, it might not be that one person, but we're all able to step in, you know, and speak to the group. We know that, you know, we have the respect of our teammates, and we're still earning that respect to our new teammates. And, you know, I think that's one of the beautiful things is that, like, we can all step into that role. And, I mean, it just, you know, it's too early to tell at this point, but, you know, I think we got a really good group of leaders this year.
Joe was talking about how he talked to Riley before committing. Did you ever talk to Riley about who Joe was before he came on campus?
Yeah, I mean, I saw he was looking at IU, so of course, you know, I asked Riley about him, and then, you know, Riley hosted him, and so did Drew, and so I was able to meet him there, and super fun time. Like, he said the same things that I thought of Joe right when I met him. Like, great guy, you know, he's a competitor and he wants to win, and so that's all you can ask for.
We saw DeMola in like a lot of different spots last season. I imagine it's maybe a little bit of a different sort of process for him, knowing, I know spots are earned, but that he's going to be expected probably to step into a lot of snaps. Just how have you seen him maybe take last year's experience and translate it into maybe trying to embrace a larger role this year?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of maturity from DeMola. You know, like, sometimes he's a very jokingly guy, and, like, we love that about him. But, you know, sometimes, like, last year, like, you'd be joking in the wrong places where maybe you shouldn't be joking. I think he's really matured, and he's got a growing confidence to himself that, you know, I'm going to step in no matter the position, and that's really hard to do, a versatile O-lineman. You know, that's not easy to do. You got to learn so many things, and it's a different game from outside to inside, and he's done a great job of that, you know, keeps his head high, and, you know, what can I do for the team, you know? What can I do for the team? And I think that's super important and shows a lot of growth on his end. Thanks, Bert. Yeah, sweet. Thank y'all.